Good Monday morning, everyone. This is Jackie at Mountain Life Fitness, and this is Monday, April 27th, 2020. And welcome to our total glutes and core Pilates fusion format. It's about 15 to 20 minutes. We will use a little bit of equipment today, and again, you can go without equipment at all. If you don't have a BOSU, you really can't effectively substitute a ball. I just say go without if you don't have a BOSU. I'm going to use a body bar and a heavy dumbbell. I'm also going to use some moderate dumbbells. So just kind of have some of that equipment around if you have access to it. If you don't, do the whole thing without. There's 4 blocks. The whole entire format's about 15 to 20 minutes. And the purpose of this is to supplement other programs. So if you want to really focus on the glutes, which is glute max, hip abductors, which are medius and minimus, and a little bit of hip adductor there, and then of course core, and concentrate on those parts of the body. There will be some crossover, but this can be stacked with many other formats. I've been trying to give you as much variety and flexibility as possible so that you can take these programs, stack them together. You can take blocks out of each of these programs that I've designed like this one, and you could use block 1 and really utilize that with another format, or if you just wanted to get some extra glute work in that day, and you can combine it as I have mentioned. So anyway, block 1 will be glute focus, block 2 core focus, block 3 glute, and block 4 core. I'm not going to use any music here. I'm going to keep my shoes and socks on, but you can have yours on or off. Anytime I'm using dumbbells though, I tend to like to have my shoes on, okay? So we're going to start on our back. And again, this can be done without load and without a BOSU. If you're going to use a BOSU, you're going to scoot all the way in. One thing I would really recommend you do not do is if you're going to use external load, you're not using a stability ball. It's really not stable enough to be putting a lot of load into the lower body like that. So we're going to take that and bring it up here. And again, you want your rear end right up against the rim of the BOSU if you're using it. And you're going to have that dumbbell there on the hips and make sure you hold on to it. And we're going to lift straight up and control down. Now we've got another exercise right after this one that is for the glutes as well. So you may want to keep both heels down. Those of you that like using one leg up, that's fine. You can do that. But just understand I'm only doing 1 set here. Okay? You can always extend it out and do an additional set if you like. So this is glutes and hamstrings. And anytime we've got the buttocks off the floor like this is going to engage the core as well. And of course, having the BOSU underneath the heels adds that additional stability challenge. Let's try 4 more. Squeeze the glutes tight, pelvic floor up and in. And press it up. Good. 2. And 1 more time. Up and lower all the way down, and then just dump that dumbbell off. Okay. So we're going to stay close to that BOSU if in fact you are using it. You're going to lift the hips up and the leg up, and we're going to stay right here, and we're going to lower the leg down and bring it back up. So you're going to stay in your glute bridge, no lifting there. It's static, and we're just moving from that hip joint, yeah? Keeping the glute, this side's having to really engage to keep the hips elevated. Yeah, and then we're challenging the core as well as that leg moves away from the body and back up. Try for 4 and up, 3, good. Of course, it's also getting those hamstrings big time. And 1 more, good. And let's bring that leg down, other one up, and lower and lift. Now, as that leg comes down, make sure you're not dipping down with the hips. You're keeping yourself up in that glute bridge, squeezing that right buttock really tight here in order to keep the hips still. Press down through the shoulders so that you're really fully touching and engaging with that mat, yeah? So you're really stable here. That's it. Keep that pelvis in neutral. Yes, down and up, a couple more. Down and up, and last one, and up, and lower that leg back down. All right, and then you can rock and roll up and come on over to your side. Now I'm going to be up on the BOSU here, and so if you're going to use a BOSU, then you want to get your hip up there. I'm also going to use some additional load. So this is hip abduction. I'm going to use a body bar. You can also take a dumbbell and just set it right here. It needs to be above the knee, not up here, but as close to the knee as possible without touching the joint. And we're going to lift up and control down. So having this elevation on the Bosu changes the joint angle a little bit, challenges those hip abductors along with that external load, yeah, and lift and down, exhale and inhale, up and down, good, and lift, and 4 to go. 4, and as I mentioned, you could always do another set here if you wanted to, yeah, and 2, good, and 1 more, up and down, good job, all right, then we'll switch to the other side. And you know, the Bosu, those of you that don't know, it's an acronym, it means both sides up. And there's no magic to it, it's just a really useful tool. But there are definitely things that I would not do on the Bosu. Just like there are things I would not do on the stability ball. So you want to use them for the purposes in which they were intended. Shoulders packed down, rib cage lifted, navel to spine. We're going to lift up and down, yeah? So this adds a little bit of instability, but really is pretty inconsequential. What I'm really doing here is elevating my hips and my torso so that it causes a shorter joint angle and makes it more difficult for me to lift that leg. Put more load into my hip abductors, yeah? Up and down. So that gluteus medius and minimus. That's it. And let's lift 4 and control down, up and down. Couple more, up and down. And last one, lift and down, good. And then take that weight or body bar off if in fact you were using one. Okay, so moving on to block 2. Block 2 is going to be a Superman flutter. And again, this can be done from the floor quite easily. Okay, so this is going to be an erector spinae exercise. So this is dedicated to the core. And you want to find that Superman or Superwoman position, and then we're going to flutter. Now squeeze glutes really tight here. Keep your shoulders packed. It's a small range of motion, really focused on control. Again, working erector spinae muscles that fan up your spine like a Christmas tree and keep your spine erect, so they're pretty important. Let's go 8, 7, that's it, and 4, 3, 2, and 1, and release. All right. Okay, and then we're going to perform some layouts from the Bosu. Again, it can be done without. You can just sit on the floor. And this is going to be right center, left center. Okay. I kind of like using the Bosu for this because it cushions the sits bone area and of course gives us some additional stability. So here we're going to keep our hands on the Bosu. Please don't do this without holding on. We're going to flex in and out, and then center, and then left, and center. Yeah, right, center, and left, and center. 2 more times around. Right, and center, left, and center. Last time through. Right, and center, left, and center, and rock it forward. Good job. And of course, it also adds a balance challenge there for sure when you're seated on the Bosu. All right, so we'll slip down, and we're going to get the small of the back onto the Bosu. So a lot of folks don't know quite how to lie on a Bosu. So if we're trying to perform an exercise like this, we want that low back to be cushioned. On the Bosu here, as I say, kind of look like a W when you're in this position. And again, this can be done from the floor. So what I'm going to do is come up and across, then put that foot back down. Up and across and back. You do want to extend, so you do want to come back, but you just don't want to arch over the ball. Up and back. Arms stay where they start. Good. Lead with the shoulder. Rotate from the waistline and back. Good. 8, and back. Work those obliques, rectus abdominis. That's it. Feel that balance challenge if you're on the Bosu. Yeah, let's go 4, and up. Good. 2, and 1 more. Good. All right, well done. Okay, so now we're going to take that Bosu, and I'm going to bring it back here behind my mat because we're going to be stepping up on it. Now, if you don't have a Bosu here, you might be able to substitute a step, and you won't get the stability issue as much there, but you will get some, and it'll also give you the height, which is kind of what we're going for here, okay? All right, so you can hold on to a heavy dumbbell or kettle. I'm gonna switch out here, come to something a little more manageable for me. Okay, and so what we wanna do is we wanna step up on the Bosu, and we're just gonna hold the dumbbell like a goblet, and we're gonna lift up and control back. So lift up and back, yeah? Up, 2, and down 2. So it's kind of like the high step up we do with a step lift, except on a Bosu, much more difficult. Up and back. Lift, toe ball heel in the landing. Up and back, couple more. Up and back, and one more time. Up and back, okay? And you do want, if you're using the Bosu, to be on the bullseye, okay? I would say pretty directly on it, actually. So then adjust that right leg out so that you'll have some stability right to left. And let's lift up and back. So you are lifting that leg back there without arching, and down, working the glute max, and of course quadriceps pushing you up on top of the Bosu, the glutes causing that hip extension. Yeah, 4 to go. Big time nose to toes core here as well. 3, good. 2, and 1 more. Up and back. Good job. All right, so I'm also going to hang on to this dumbbell, and I'm going to turn my Bosu so you have the handles out of the way. We call that 12 and 6. And this is going to be abduction squat. So this is going to be taking that leg out to the side. We're going to stay on one side, but now again it's going to be glute medius and minimus rather than maximus, okay? So we're going to lift up and down. Again, quads are going to push us up on top, but glute max involved here, minimus and medius, are causing the abduction. 4, and up. Good. 2, and 1 more. Good, and then we'll switch sides. Again, all this can be done from the floor or the step. Okay, but I do like to give you some challenges here with equipment for those of you that have it, okay? Lift up and squat back. Squeeze that outer hip tight. Lift and back. Exhale and inhale. Up and down. Contract and control. Lift and down. And last one, up and down. Good job. All right, dumbbell down for now. Prone hamstrings. Okay, so this will be done in a prone position from the Bosu. Again, can be done from the floor. And you might even be able to pull this off from a stability ball. But you want to have abdomen there, elbows down on the floor. And we're going to be bringing our legs up, and we're going to curl in, heels to glute, and press out. Yep, and press out. So you're holding those legs up with the glute max muscles. Hamstrings, of course, causing the flexion at the knee. But you've got to squeeze the buttocks together really tightly here to maintain this position. Keep shoulders packed down, rib cage lifted, navel to the spine. And of course, if you had tubing, we could add a lot of intensity here, yeah. But I didn't want to throw too many things at you at once, maybe next week. Let's go for 4 more. 4, keep shoulders packed, neck and neutral. 3, good, 2, and 1 more, in and out. And then just carefully walk back. All right, good job. Okay, next is going to be a kneeling exercise done on the Bosu. You can certainly kneel on the floor. And you could use a medicine ball here if you wanted to, or a set of dumbbells. I'm probably just going to use a set of moderate dumbbells, and or nothing at all. Again, this is not easy, and when you are on here, what you want to do is come on and kind of hug the Bosu. Now, ideally, we don't have our toes touching, but if they need to touch, they need to touch, right? Because we don't want you to fall off. Otherwise, you're just in a kneeling position, and do not do this on the stability ball, okay? All right, and we're gonna press straight up and down. So this is really more about core than shoulders. Yeah, we're changing our center of gravity, and we don't have our feet on the floor, so we've lost our feet as our driver, yeah? Let's go 4, and press. Good, 2, and 1 more, up and down. Good, okay. And those down. Then lateral flexion with hip abduction. So moving the Bosu again. We've already done some hip abduction, so we're not gonna add any load to it. But we are going to add that leg coming up with our lateral flexion. So lift the leg and then down. Lift, moving rib cage to hip bone, working the lateral flexors of the torso, and up and back. Good, exhale and inhale, lift and down, up and down, up. I'm gonna say 1 more here, lift and down. And let's switch sides. And as I mentioned in the beginning of the program, if you wanted to stay and do another set there, you sure can, yeah? What I think is more fun, actually, is to go through the full 4 blocks and come back around and do it again. Get a really good workout for the glutes and the core. And fingers here, and let's lift up and down. So where do we get the Pilates fusion here? Well, a lot of what we're doing, of course, is for core. And we're also getting the lengthening positions like this with that leg lifting up and down. Yeah, that's it. And of course, you're getting medius and minimus as well as lateral flexors. Yeah, so compound exercise. Good, up and down and lift. Let's try 1 more. Up and down. Good. Well done. Okay. And then last is going to be bird dog. And I'm actually going to do the bird dog from the Bosu. So, you do that. Yeah. We're going to bring the legs up on top and bring the hands down on the floor. Okay? And then we're going to take that left leg out and right arm. Yep. And hold. Lower arm and leg down. And switching. You can see I'm struggling to hold. Yep. Shaking's okay. 4, 3, 2, lower arm and leg down. Now, take it from the other side. So we've got the hands on the Bosu. Gonna take that left leg out and right arm, and we're gonna flex and extend. So we're gonna come in and out, nice and slow. Yeah. Just a big erector spinae exercise. 4, and reach. 3, and out. 2, good, and one more, in and out. Lower arm and leg down, right leg out, left arm, and let's go in and out. So much easier with just the hands on the bow suit than with the knees, no kidding. Yeah, in and out. And it's 4, 3, 2, and 1, and done. All right, awesome job today, you guys. So you got your 4 blocks. You can stack this any way you like, and it pairs really well with any of our cardio formats. And you could actually take the one that I'll film a little bit later in the week that's upper body and core fusion, and combine those two for a really fun combination of a workout for you. Have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow. Thanks so much.